Bienvenido a la colección del Museo Fondo del Sol, MOCA, el Museo de Culturas y Herencias Americanas. Welcome to the collection, selected works of the collection of America's oldest artist-run Latino Caribbean Multicultural Museum, founded on the 3rd of May in 1973. You are looking at works from the 40th anniversary exhibit, which will be traveling next year, Migrante hasta la Libertad, Immigrants to Freedom, which is the basic underlying theme of this great collection, over 25,000 objects, documents, and works of art. You see in the entry an altar to the Guadalupe by Max Roybal, and Santero works from Puerto Rico and Mexico, a section of the great Puerto Ricanos, Omar Tufino, Domingo Garcia, and others, in which Tufino says that Borican was here before Columbus, Afro-American artists, Puerto Ricanos, Chicanos, including a homage to Cesar Chavez, and extraordinary Chicano works, the Chicano theater of San Juan Bautista, the Afro-Cubano gallery, the Santuario Afro-Cubano, with an entry piece by Elio Beltran, works by Wilfred Lam, and an extraordinary section of works by the late Juan Bosa. An entire section, including works also by the great Cubano Jorge Pardo. The Santuario, which includes films and videos of Machito, of Otonawa, of Ana Mendieta, is the only exhibit space of its kind in the country dedicated to the debt we owe in art and music and religious values to the Afro-Cubano. This is a posthumous museum gallery which was dedicated on the anniversary of Juan Bosa's death in March of 1991. It's followed by an homenaje a la mujer dedicated to Ana Mendieta, who had her first three great museum installations through the national exhibit that Fondo del Sol organized for the Museum of American Art, the National Collection of Fine Arts, Raíces y Visiones. Works in this include Ana Mendieta's one of her very rare silhouettes, Esther Hernandez, the great San Francisco Chicano artist, Irma Talabi Francis of Grenada, Susana Lasta of Argentina and Arizona, Gloria Cordova, of a family of Santeros for 200 years, Caridad Salome of Washington, a Cubana, Linda Lucero, and wonderful works of the San Francisco La Raza Workshop, Lydia Rubio of Cuba, followed by a section of dialogue on freedom between Chicano and Latino and major artists Rene Castro, Dino Aranda, Chicano artists Amado Peña, Rupert Garcia, Benjamin Serrano, with Latino political artists, Marcelo Montesinos of Washington, Puerto Ricanos, Nicaraguenses, and a major new section in the museum library of over 380 works which had never been shown before in most cases, of grabados and silkscreens from Mexico, from Chicano culture, from Latino culture in America, and Puerto Rican culture. And you see among juxtapositions of Mexican roots, ceramic roots, New Mexican roots, Central American, Califas, California, Honduras, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua, Cesar Martinez of Texas, Amado Peña of Texas, Bernard Brooks, Afro-American, Virgin Islands, Eglin Daly of the Maroon culture of Jamaica, Afro-American, Soviet American, ex-Russian, Cubano-American, Jamaican Eglin Daly, great piece of Nana, Dino Aranda, an eloquent piece from 1967, Vladimir Kandelaki from the gallery In Search of a Lost Iberia, dedicated to the memory of the late Norton Dodge. Dialogue of Kandelaki and Mamuka Michelazzi, two Georgian Iberians in dialogue with Gori of Cuba, a Basque. And you see guarding all of this the great favorite of children, the museum shop's guard dog, Rano, who guards the entry to the ground floor gallery to be developed in the future of Afro-American and Caribbean artists. The museum will be leaving this building with only 5 galleries and plans to reopen in 2014 in 2 sections between June and September, with 10 galleries, a visiting artist studio on the 5th floor, and an extraordinarily beautiful and useful sculpture garden and our first sculpture gallery. Gracias por su atención.
Good. Hola, me llamo Delfa Rodríguez Castillo, de parte de los mexicanos americanos, hispanos, chicanos y tejanos que apoyan al museo. Bienvenidos a Fondo del Sol. Hello, my name is Delfa. On behalf of Mexican Americans and individuals like myself who are from Texas and who support this museum, welcome to Fondo del Sol.
Hola, mi nombre es Carolina Villanueva, estoy como voluntaria en el Museo del Fondo del Sol. Soy de padres salvadoreños, nacida en Suecia y represento a la comunidad salvadoreña y colombiana por haber estudiado en Colombia por los últimos 4 años. Hi, my name is Carolina Villanueva. I am a volunteer in Fondo del Sol Museum. My parents are from El Salvador. I was born in Sweden, and I represent the Salvadorian and Colombian community. I studied the last years in Colombia, and I welcome you to the museum.
Bienvenido al Museo de Culturas y Herencias Americanas, to the Museum MOCA, which is a new museum working in collaboration with the famous Fondo del Sol Artist Collaborative and extraordinary loan works from them, and with Resistance International. The 3 groups are all dedicated to the struggles for freedom of the peoples of America, immigrant America, and the American dream for 400 years of freedom
escape from tyranny and murder, and a second chance in life. From the time of our English and French and Irish Catholic and Jewish and Italian ancestors, all of who suffered for their dream. This is a museum founded on a national and international level as a collaboration that the struggles of Cesar Chavez and Luis Valdez and our great Chicano ancestors and of Martin Luther King, of such people as the founder of the Anacostia Museum, John Kennard, the great Puerto Rican patriot, cultural patriot, Ricardo Alegria, that we are all here together struggling for a freedom that has not yet been recognized. In this area alone, we have over 1,200,000 immigrants, 800,000 Latinos in the three-state area, 200,000 West Indians and Africans, 200,000 Iranians and Indians and Filipinos and Asians. And yet, the artworks of these 60 years of immigration are not in the great downtown museums. It is as if we remain as waiters, we remain as street workers, we remain as people who work at McDonald's. We are not in the museums. And so this museum, with its extraordinary sculpture garden and sculpture gallery, which you're seeing now, is a new page after 60 years. Estamos aquí para defender los derechos de igualdad y de libertad para todos, para afroamericano, para caribeño, para chicano, para hispano, para latinoamericano, para puertorriqueño. And to honor in art those who gave their lives, the great patriots. So as this museum opens in the next 6 months with 10 galleries and a sculpture garden and an extraordinary library and visiting artists and scholars' studios, you will see a voice of those who have been invisible. And for all of you who identify that there should be a gallery in Washington about the Afro-Cubano, and a gallery in Washington about Puerto Rico Libre, and galleria about el Afro-Caribeño, about el Latinoamericano, el Chicano, el Mexicano, el Ruso que ha venido. Ese es el objetivo de ese museo nuevo, en colaboración con sus hermanos del Fondo del Sol y de Resistance International, por los que han quedado y escapado de la tiranía, la muerte y la Unión Soviética. Bueno, vamos a pasar de aquí. Este es un rincón único en todo Washington, en todos los Estados Unidos. Es un rincón del Caribe, del afro-cubano, de Elio Beltrán, de Juan Bosa, del abacuá y del taíno, del famoso artista, escultor extraordinario Michael Auld of Jamaica, graduado de Howard University con honores. Ha estudiado con la famosa Lois Mayo Jones, Pierre Noël. Pasamos de allí a una sección del precolombino, de obras de 1500 años de Cristo, pre-Olmeca, en Honduras, la Playa de la Muerte. Máscaras, obras de escultura de El Salvador, de Nicaragua, de México, de Guatemala, de Honduras. Y aquí de Perú, nuestros antepasados de la cultura nazca. Aquí un altar y una sección de las raíces nuestras. Doña Sebastiana, who comes New Mexico, family 200 years of Santeros, each Easter, carried up from the Morada to the top of the hill to gather the quick and the dead. La bandera de César Chávez. Para nosotros artistas, porque este es un museo en cual los fundadores eran todos artistas. César Chávez is not dead, he lives, he is in our heart. The huelga must be remembered and it must be restored. A altar section from the rebellion of Bulgaria against the Soviet Union. Of Nueva Mexico con la familia Romo, también más que 100 años con Santeros. Un Cristo del siglo XVII, Temprano 18 de Nicaragua. A cross, a beautiful cross by the famous priest Ernesto Cardenal of Nicaragua. A series of extraordinary works in wood and in ceramica of the great Peruvian sculptor Manuel Pereira Salas, que era uno de los 4 artistas que ha fundado la sección, el Centro Cultural Fondo del Sol hace 40 años aquí en Washington. Una máscara de México, un retrato de la Malinche por Santa Barazza, de una familia tejana desde 2 siglos. Santa Barazza of South Texas, a family in Texas for 200 years. African, West African mass. Ana Mendieta, the Cuban-American artist of such great reclaim, one of her very first silhouettes done for the exhibit Raíces Antiguas y Visiones Nuevas in 1979. Sculptures from West Africa, from the Khan sculpture, and an extraordinarily beautiful work and esquisse by the late Afro-American artist Lois Mailou Jones Pio-Noel, the mother of more significant artists from Howard University's art department in a 70-year period than anyone in American art history. Pasando de la Galería de Escultura, pasamos a un jardín de escultura preciosa para adultos y niños. Pasando aquí por obra antigua del precolombino de cultura olmeca de México. Una obra estupendo por Bill and Mary Buchan of a tambor, a wonderful maracas drum. Sculpture in stone by Manuel Pereira of Peru, and another of Dos Amantes from Peru, and a pájaro from Peru, and from Jamaica, a wonderful terracotta by Sylvester Stevens, and a wooden from Jamaica, and a wonderful wooden works in red cedar by Woody Josephs of Jamaica. Pasando aquí, una escultura en proceso de restauración por Manuel Pereira de Perú, el cofundador del Centro de Artistas Fondo del Sol. A pre-Columbian onga, a mushroom piece from Guatemala, common also to Mexico, and a wonderful mask in ceramica, also from Mexico, from Alfredo Ijar. Al muro al lado veíamos una serie de esculturas hecho por el nuevo mexicano del artista tejano Pedro Luján. Están allí contra el muro. The wooden works with espejos with glass are by the famous El Paso, Texas, New Mexico artist Pedro Luján, the first Chicano to win the Guggenheim in American art history. And in front of him, a ceramica by Sylvester Stevens of Jamaica, and a plexiglass piece, one of a series of 3 by Washington's one of Washington's great English-born sculptresses. The black plexiglass is one of 3 plexiglass works by one of Washington's first women artists working in plexi, given as a gift in the early 1980s. Here in the garden is a small, beautiful piece by the late Manuel Pereira, and his work from 1974 of the Dos Amantes de las Americas, a work under construction with the museum's trainees, art trainees Americana Latina and Afro-American. Passing from the sculpture garden and past the sculpture studio, we passed to the first floor galleries, 3 galleries per floor, the second floor galleries, a huge uninterrupted space of 3 galleries, the 4th floor galleries, and on the very top, a large, wonderful visiting artists and scholars studio and deck for guests of the museum.